Yeah, because I brought my beige shoes.
Let's get him the Easy Does It in green. Easy Does It, yeah, large.
And then you know I got to give me some jean sets and shit too, man.
I need to get you some jeans because I know you like jeans.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let's get him the ones that I gave the Texans guy. Let's get him in some of them same denims and the same shirt.
What?
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you drip right now.
Okay.
Right, you gonna get. I'm gonna get this boy right. This boy on the other side of the camera is gonna be right.
Hey man,
gonna be tight and right.
Come on, ever forget about 5, man? This my God. Now we repping this Hyde Park, man. Y'all stay out the way, man. I'm telling you for real, man. Y'all get ready, man. It's going down, man.
Yep.
Real, man. This is a nice establishment you got back here, bro. I ain't gonna lie. This is what I call repping the Houston the right way, man. Yeah,
the
man.
right way.
Yeah, man.
Turning it up and turning it on.
Man.
All right, now let's get this man drip out. Come on now.
Come on now.
There's a bathroom right there.
Medium. Hey, man, y'all stay tuned. I'll be back. You know what it is, man? This is the one-on-one with Miggity Mike D, man, and we have tuned in live behind the scenes.
Where it all happened.
Hey, we had a discreet location, man. Hyde Park Clothing. Jacob's here, and he is what? The Louis V of streetwear. It's going down, man. What's up, Jacob? How you doing today?
What up, man? Welcome to the legend. I think we have a historical legendary moment where, you know, we come up with the hip hop culture through, you know, the fashion here in H-Town. What a better
way to do it.
Yeah, what a better way to do it than to have
you know,
the legend, the man himself. That's crazy. That's wild. To just be in the building, like.
Well,
yeah.
Well, you know, this is where they say the legends meet.
That's where it happened, right here.
This is where the legends meet, man. As y'all can see, I'm dripped out again.
We had to get him dripped out.
Hey, man, all I can say is everything I got on, the price went double. You know what I'm saying? And make sure, if nothing else, y'all go get the double cup Labubu, man. We're going to start there.
The double cup Labubu.
That's
the H-Town Labubu.
It's an H-Town Labubu. Yeah. When did you come with this, though? Like, let's
start
here.
Okay, basically, like, with that one right there, actually, we were having a conversation at your crib. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, so he actually gave me the idea of that one. He's
great.
like, look, you know, June, and then we were talking about June 27th. This was back in what? February.
Yeah, that was back, before the June 27th.
Yeah, so February, we were back in February, and we were talking at your crib. Right. And I was like, yo, I think I got a good idea about, you know,
and
doing something.
You brought it to life.
Yeah, brought it to life. Yeah.
And see, he a real one too, because most people that take it and go on and don't forget and don't remember about the ones they started with, and that's what I like about you, love about you, Jacob. This is dope right here, man. And because like this is a big deal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the Labubu. So now we got H-Time's own.
Yeah, they got the Asian Labubu, but now we just brought it back. You know, we made it. You know.
That's dope, man. But what you think about Speed saying that the Labubu is janky or what he said, something like that?
Is it evil?
Yeah, he said it's evil. He said it's evil. What's evil about the Labubu?
It's kind of like a devil, I guess. I don't know.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. I think it's kind of like it's a cross between like a devil or like a demon. Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything about the Labubu, but I do know about this H-Time Labubu. You feel me? So that's why I'm saying for the people that don't know, okay, so it is a cross of that. But when I heard him say that, I was like, hold on, do I need to let my kids get this? Because, you know, every one of them want this. Yeah. But now they got a real reason. This ain't the devil, y'all. This is
the history. This is the culture right here.
Exactly, man. That's what it is.
Drink in my cup.
That's what I'm saying. This is what we call a beautiful establishment. You feel me?
Labubu, you know, this
I got the Labubu coming.
Spruceton's in the house right here. Spruceton's in the building. This is history right here.
All day, every day, man. R.I.P. DJ Screw, man.
Right, look at this.
Oh, not the double cup Labubu, man. Hold up, man. Hey, y'all stay out the way, man. Come on now. Come on, the drink man gotta have his Hyde Park double cup. You know what I'm saying? Labubu, man. And now the price done went up, y'all. Jacob, we've doubled the price on these now. Official. The drink man, Big Mo, R.I.P., you know what I'm saying? He don't get no realer than this here, man. The price is doubled now. Should have got him early. Yeah.
Okay, so look, you can just clip this, you know.
We'll walk in. He'll show me how to do this here. He always do it this way.
Mike, we got to hook old school up with the, you know.
Come on, the new drip, man. Come on, man.
We can solve this with him, right? Come on. Miss Megan, you want to help him here? We're going to put it upside down, right side up. What are we doing?
How they win?
Upside down? All right, let's do it upside
Yeah, you're
down.
right.
Hold on, hold on.
Right.
You know-
Let's get this way. Hold on. Let's go back over here so y'all can both be over here. There you
Okay.
go. All right, so
Let's
upside down in the back, upside down in the front. What are we doing? How we dripping? How we dripping?
Let's do it to the back.
To the back,
Yeah,
let's go.
to the back.
All right, let's go.
Back, upside down. Oh man, that is clean.
Oh,
Okay, that is clean. That is
yes,
clean.
indeed.
I think you need to turn it a little to the right, though.
To the
like,
right a little
by the
bit?
ear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you know, Walt gonna see it, he gonna be like, oh, gee, turn to the left, to the
It
right.
should be like right here.
Okay. Something over here to this side?
Yeah, so
Just
they
a
can
little
see
bit?
it.
Okay, hold up. What about right there?
Oh, they got me dripped out. Oh, man.
There?
Yeah.
Come on, man. The
All right, let's
prices,
see it. Let's see it.
the prices went up. The prices went up, man. The prices just went up for the whole unit, man. You know what I mean? This is called, it's a triple.
Right.
Whatever it is, it's triple price now, Jacob.
Damn,
You
bro.
feel me? Oh, man. Hey, you the best, bro.
Look at that.
It's the best to do it right here, man. I don't know, man. R.I.P. Virgil, man. But I'm saying, hey, I'm just saying, man. Best to do it is right here, man.
What's the tagline? What is it?
Hey, the Louisville streetwear right here. You know what it is, man. Jacob, man. Hydepark, man. Stay down, man. You know how it go, man. Stay tuned. We got a lot coming right here. How long have you been over here at this warehouse here, man? Because it look like you've been here about 50 years without, you know.
It feels like I've been here for 50 years, actually. It definitely feels like I've been. No, so back in 2018, 2019, I was looking for a building, to kind of, expand my business. That printing equipment right there, you see right behind you,
Wow.
that's the printing equipment. That's a pretty big, huge press. And yeah, man, we kind of moved all this stuff in here in 2019. So 2018 went looking, came over here, secured the building. That was kind of at the end of 2018. Beginning of 2019, I had to get the permits, put the electricity in,
Wow.
et cetera, et cetera. And then we got everything finally set up and secured like sometime mid to late 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So like October, about the same time, October, November time period. And we officially started turning on the machines and started running projects in here late 2019. That's kind of where we started. And then boom, Christmas. And then right back, guess what? COVID. That's what happened. COVID.
How did that feel, man, getting your whole business set up? I know, because this is extreme right here. This ain't no little bitty, like, I got a little press machine,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
was cranking out some
Yeah.
shit, so you cranking out mass production,
Right.
and then the world shut down on you.
That was, okay, so yeah, that was definitely,
A heartbreaker.
it's kind of like getting punched in the stomach. And I had just spent like, I don't know, a lot of money, I won't put a dollar amount to it, but I spent a lot of my savings on securing the
What we
building,
see, right?
pulling the permits, pulling electricity, the electricity to put in for 3-phase, and then you have to actually put in like a meter for 3-phase. It's not just you get most buildings come with 2-phase. So this one actually, you have to pull the 3-phase. Where's it coming from? They have to tap the line. They got to bring out the whole trucks and all that stuff. It's a whole situation. You got to file for a permit. Then you got to run that wire. You got to get official stamp and all this stuff, and they got to run it. And so, how much does that cost? And then you got to move the equipment from wherever it's coming from, put it here, set it all up, test it, So I'm talking about a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
It seems like something that should be easy, but it's a lot of money,
Exactly.
a lot of red tape. You got to deal with the city. And then, okay, I'm like, wow, man, I'm finally going to be able to get set up. I finally started making a little bit of little bit of my money back. And then, boom, hit with the COVID. Hey, 2 weeks to slow the spread. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I might just, And they were
Roll
like,
over and literally
yeah,
die.
pretty much. They're saying like, look, you're either going to go out and get what? You're going to pretty much go kill yourself or go kill grandma was what they were trying to say back then. And you had a choice to make. Like, hey, do I got to go make my bills or am I going to drown in debt? And then, that's decisions like people have to make in that moment of like what you're going to do, to kind of make make the bills at the end of the month. And so it was right in that moment in time where I just, put front all this cash and, yeah, man, it was a very tough decision. I was stressed to the max, to say the least.
I know you
I
were,
was stressed
man. How did you
as
keep
fuck.
everything from going gray like mine, man?
I think that's actually when I was going, I was
Yeah.
pulling out. I think I got a receding hairline because of that. You know what I'm saying? I got the, yeah.
That'll happen with that. People don't understand the back of having a business, especially with like fashion.
Yeah.
Because we think, okay, all right, it's this press machine.
Yeah.
Put it upstairs and most people put it in their house.
Yeah.
Had the little 1-2 machines and
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm in business.
Yeah, no. I was like, I'm going to go big. I'm going to, I wanted to start a brand. So I was like, in 2019, the plan was always to kind of start my own brand.
Right.
I had been, working for other people and, making products for other people, basically. Or a little bit before November 2019, I'm just putting my money to work, building out this, getting all the permits and all this stuff. And, we ended up getting a call from Travis Scott's people. They were doing an event called Astroworld. I don't know if you remember Astroworld, but yeah, we got invited out to that.
Kickoff, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we kind of we're in the VIP. That's the first time that you will ever see Hydepark. Was in that VIP. It was like our throwback logo. We don't even use that logo anymore. It's just like a kind of like an idea of like, okay, let me see if I can do something. It ended up being pretty pretty good hit. Like with people like resonated with it. So I was like, okay, this is something that I can do. As soon as I get my building open, I'm gonna still continue to make clothing brands for other people. But I'm gonna do my own thing because like I'm just I was done with it. I've been doing this stuff for my entire adult life, really. So now at this point, like I've kind of like leveled up into the game. Yeah.
What companies were you working with before when you started? Like,
so there was a lot of them. There was a lot of different people that we had like little clothing brands going on. There was a couple really, a few successful ones here and there, throughout the years.
So it was just like people getting started up, basically.
Yeah. Or some people would be a little bit further along. Like some people you knew that like you probably would never see those people again.
Wow.
They may start a clothing brand and you might see them this week and they're gonna go out and they're gonna be like, this is like,
I'm done.
Yeah, this guy just spent all of his money. He's probably, not gonna, maybe he might make it, maybe he won't. You never know with these people, It depends on like how well people take advice. Just like with anything, just like with music, just like if you people just have an idea or a concept, but it's how that thing gets materialized and how that works and why that works. Like people really like sometimes don't understand like there's a reason why things are successful. And even if you follow this, the chances of you being successful are high, but there's still a chance that you can fail, right? So it's just kind of seeing that 100 times over, 1,000 times over.
Everybody thinks they gonna win.
Yeah.
It sounds like the rap game.
That's just how it is.
Yeah, everybody thinks they gonna win in the fashion game. So, do you think it's better to, as advice, would you say it's better to like come out with something they know and then attach your name to it, or is it better to just be you and just pray that they catch on it?
That's a great question.
I know, right?
That's a great question because I think you can go from both different angles, but I think being authentic is really, really important. I think the important thing about what I do with the brand is that we like to be about the authenticity of who we are, and we don't try to kind of like unapologetically kind of
be yourself.
Put product out whatever, and just intentionally not like desperately as opposed to being desperate. It's just like it never was about making money. It was more about the self-expression of what what am I trying to communicate here. And I feel like even with music, like I feel like the people who have something really important to communicate, those are people gonna it's gonna resonate with people. It just resonates. Like it hits. You could feel some you could feel emotions in versus somebody just trying to make money. Yeah, just trying to get a win real quick. And it's not a get rich quick type situation. It's just most people have to work really, really hard. Yeah, to get there.
Yeah.
So like maybe people see a brand or whatever, but they didn't see how long prior to the situation that I, how long was I doing stuff in a hot box, flat roof building, sweating my ass off, just trying to make money, really.
Man,
at the end of the day.
Lights on.
Yeah, just keep the lights on. But eventually the ultimate goal was to make a brand. I just didn't know what it was at the time. And I kind of I like to, I guess I like to say it's a lot like kind of like a cow. Like, you milk that cow and they're kind of like in a very small little space. That's how you are that's how you are creatively when people are using your ideas and, your talents and skills or whatever. So, you kind of like sell your services or whatever,
right.
So I was like, okay, I'm done. Like I'd already been milked as much as I could in terms of how much creativity I was willing to give up. Right. And in that moment, I was like, okay, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to swing. I'm going to
swing for the fences.
And then COVID.
COVID happened, man. Well, one thing they say, man, welcome to the business. I tell people, welcome to the music business.
Yeah.
Because it's a money pit
Yeah.
that just goes down. Hello, how are you there?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and you just keep throwing your money in
Yeah.
it, throwing your money in it, and you never see any progress. And then
Yeah.
one day you just wake up, it's like
The
we're
stars
here.
aligned. Yeah.
Stars have been lying, but you have to stay down, man, and that's what it seemed like you did, man. You made it through that process, and as you were going, like, so is that where you get kind of like your marketing idea from helping other people? Because I see with way you do market your product when you're doing other artists and different people and stuff that y'all sit down together and then y'all come with the product, what you're gonna do, and then y'all throw it out there. It's a little different, but it's actually smart,
Yeah.
because most people come and they say, well, I'm gonna give this person and I'm gonna do this and but the way you approach it is different, and I like it, man. Do you care to share any of that idea, or do you just like to keep that close to the chest?
No, I'm cool with that. Yeah, no, part of Hyde Park, the whole purpose of Hyde Park was to kind of create like this collaborative incubator where you had a lot of the local creatives in terms of like either in music or in the hip hop culture or whatever you do creatively kind of come together as a collective. And I originally started Hyde Park as a creative incubator collaboration type situation. So yeah, for sure, that was day one. And then we ultimately started doing like events, and we started having these underground, because it was COVID, we started doing these underground events basically.
Smart.
And so
You figured it out.
yeah, that's where we started, the whole, you aren't invited type of situation. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
genius,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
You're a genius. I get it now. That's where you aren't invited,
Right,
because
yeah.
they weren't invited to
Yeah.
the
It
place.
was actually events. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But we had product. I mean, we were doing product. We were still doing product, but we couldn't officially launch the brand because it was COVID. So a lot of it, you had this negative stigma around, that time period. Like if you gathered in more than groups of like 5 or 6, you remember that time period?
Oh my, yes, I do. Yes, everybody triple mask on.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
So this is the
get
time
away
period.
from me.
Yep.
But we got to make this money.
Right.
But, yeah.
Something, you're trying to be, please do two different sides of, of the group. But, at the end of the day, we're like, okay, we'll start doing these underground events as, the year 2020 started to progress. And they started to relax like the mask mandates and all of this other social gatherings and stuff like that. They started to open it up a little bit more. Then we started to realize, you know what? I think it's going to be about that time that we, start coming with a, promotion, and that's kind of what we did.
That's dope, man. I think one of the earlier people that I seen, rocking the wear was like Sanchi and
P.
Sauce Walker.
Yep.
And were you dealing with both of them at the same time, or did you start with Sanchi? How did that?
So yeah, it was kind of both of them at the same time. Sanchi P was probably, me and Sanchi P have a really close relationship because of, his early involvement in Hyde Park. So I always give him a lot of respect, and just, always give him a shout out because, he was one of the first people who came through the building. One of the first. There was many.
Right.
And TSF also. I mean, everybody from TSF pretty much, pulled up like almost. I would say like within the first 30 days of launching the brand.
Wow.
Yeah, within the first 30 days. Yeah.
It's like almost like it is a TSF flagship thing, because the colors and the great marketing that you were coming with. So it's like everybody seen it was like, oh man, this is dope. But I thought it was actually their brand.
Yeah.
But now that I know how you operate, you do kind of give the artist that luxury of saying like, this is ours.
Yeah. It's really belongs to the really belongs to the people. Is the way I looked at it. So when people try to take, or when people take credit for Hyde
What
Park
you're
or whatever
doing,
the case may be, I've never been offended by that at all. Like I've never been the type of person to be like, oh no, this is my brand and this is only me. Like it's always been for the people. I didn't create the brand, so that I could get personally famous or so that I could get personal clout out of that. In fact, I would rather not,
Get any.
I don't need any attention. Actually, the less, the better, because I'm a behind the scenes type of person. I'm more working, BTS. I'm a creative. So like, if somebody else wants to be the front man for the whole situation, that's even better for me, because I don't got to deal with the whole, the whole anxiety. But like, that shit gives me too much anxiety, really, honestly. Yeah. It's too much, like for me. But for personalities like Sanchi and for Walk and for, they just got that, that magic about them. Yeah, they got that magic about them. And they know how to communicate to the camera and, get people to, feel a certain type of way when they talk to you, I feel like I'm not as talented in that area. I want to be, but,
not for
my
everybody.
talent's over here.
There you go.
My talent's
There
over
you
here
go.
behind the computer, testing shit out. Like I'm in the kitchen, you know, just testing shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, this tastes good. That's not good. Okay, that's good. You
I
know?
don't. I like
A,
this.
B, C, you know, testing.
And I think it's kind of great the way you guys work together because you're able to sit back and see what they need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can watch how they dress, you know, the character of the person, and you can say, okay, well, let me bring this to life through the clothing.
And so a lot of that at that point in time was that drip, you know, like the concept kind of You Aren't Invited also goes a little bit deeper to thinking about like not everybody will be talented, not everybody will, you know, be good looking, but, you know, and in modern society, like we compete, you know, for like likes or attention or whatever the case may be, but like not everybody can be that person, but at least we can all like protect our own creative space or our own personal thoughts. And that's also like that meaning too of like you aren't invited into this like situation, because like when you do eventually end up, say, the stars aligning and stuff like that, and you do make it, then, you know, everybody wants to be, oh, what's up? You know, what's up, Mike D? What's up? You know, what's up?
That's how
you
it
know?
goes.
And everybody's your friend at that point. And so it's kind of like that, you know, Barry to be like, what, you know, I'm going to protect my space right here. And that's kind of like, you know, there's another thing about it. You aren't invited.
I like my outfit. You are not invited.
Where you going, nigga? Hell no, hell no. Fuck that, fuck that, fuck that, cat. Fuck that, nigga. All eyes on you, nigga. Don't go nowhere, nigga. Where the fuck you going?
Outside, man, what's up? We got the OG SUC in the motherfucking building, man. Come on, bro. Y'all don't even know we got the motherfucking living legend out here with us right now, man. 101 with Mike. The podcast going crazy, nigga. I see the chicks. I see the chicks, nigga. I see the chicks. I see them hoes. Is that nigga okay? He shot his ass in the leg. He good? Okay, man. I'm just making sure. I bet my nigga. Hey, Mike D, I love you, my boy. I had to do this for you. This for me. I had to do this for you. I'm H-Town, nigga. You know I got you. Let's go.
Fucking legend, nigga. Nigga podcast, live in that bitch running.
Find out you with a group.
Hey, Jacob.
You gon' be with super.
Hey, Jacob, man. Happy birthday, Jacob.
Took a shot at him and go to the
Come on. We got a Hydepark in this bitch. Come on, what's up? Happy fucking birthday, Jacob. So you on this here.
$1 million cash.
That's right, the OG still popping. I got Miss Megan in the building. Hey, she like, break your ass off. This what I be talking about. Meet people, do this.
I'm going home.
Are you proud that I came outside?
I can't believe you're outside.
Happy birthday, Jacob. Only for Jacob. Exactly. I wouldn't have done this for nobody but Jacob.
Yeah.
You said that you was able to stack up a little money. Do you think that like the quality makes a difference too of the material?
I think to a certain point, you know, that's a good question also, because, you know, you can have a very high quality product, or you can have like a lower quantity. There's a pricing like matrix, I guess you could say, is like quality and price, and also like stock, I guess, like how many units you're keeping. And there's like a matrix of a sweet spot in there, you know, like if you can get real nerdy with shit, you know, you can get real nerdy with this. You're like, okay, I'm gonna high quality, but there's only so much money somebody's willing to pay for that item, and it's like a point of diminishing returns. Like there's no point in charging that much money, because they're not gonna pay for it anyway, because it's not even you're not gonna be able to afford to even go into production, because, you know, it's mismatched. I like to give the analogy, it's like, you know, they used to have flea market off of, you know, 45, whatever, you know, back in the day, people used to go to flea markets. Well, it's like that kid trying to sell Gucci at a flea market. You know, you got to target the right customer base with the right product, with the right price. It's basically what it is, like right product, right price, right place, you know, the stars kind of align at that little moment in time, and if that thing hits, it's like that. Yeah, it can hit, yeah.
That's a good,
then how do you follow up with that, you know?
The follow-up.
Yeah.
That's
Consistency.
That's a good point right there.
You know, I definitely spent a lot of time making a lot of, you know, quality products. I spent a lot of time just designing. I'm a designer, so I spent a lot of time just making stuff just for the sake of making it. You know, I just love being in the kitchen making, you know, every day, all day.
That's how you cutting a lot of people out, because those ideas not coming to your head, and you having to call somebody.
Yeah.
Hey, draw this for me. Hey, draw this for me.
Yeah.
Which ain't bad either, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it just takes time.
But what made you come you were doing other products. What made you come with the Hyde Park logo, and how did that come about?
So basically, so I started off doing. I was introduced to art at a very young age. Like if you were to go back to a story, like I was 13, 14 years old. I'd moved back to Houston, Texas. My grandparents were from here. My parents moved around Texas, and we ended up coming back because my grandmother got sick at the time, and so I'm chilling over here in a park, and I met this guy. His name was P Rock. That's what he went by, P Rock. You know, and I was like, you know, we would go to the park to go breakdance. You know, it was just something that we were into when we were young. You know, so we would just go under the pavilion because the floor was really slick. And so we would put the music on and we'd annoy the skateboarders because they were trying to skateboard through or whatever. And we were just out there just breakdancing, you know, just doing basically gymnastic dancing, like doing backflips, all this weird shit, right? And then this dude's in the corner and I see him and he's drawing in this little black book. And I'm like, you know, I was like curious. He was a little older than me. I was like the youngest person in the group or whatever. So I walked up to him and said, hey man, what are you doing in that book? Like that's, you know, this is cool. Like, oh, this is graffiti. And I was like, graffiti? What? That's great. Can you show me like how to do this? Like I need to learn, you know, what you're doing. He's like, yeah, look, okay. And he starts breaking it down to me like, this is how you do like a single stroke. And this is how you do like a throw up. And I was like, what's a throw up? And he's like, a throw up is like bombing letters, you know, like something like, you know, like bubble letters, you know, like kind of like that. And he goes like, when you get a couple spray paint cans, this is going to be something easy that you can do, you know, to throw up your name or your whatever you're doing, like, you know, and this is how we do it. And he's from Chicago. And he's giving me all this game, and I'm like, wow, man, like this is so cool. Like, do you come up here like often, like to the park? He's like, yeah, man, I just moved over here. I came from Chicago. I'm living with my sister Ann, and I just come up here. You know, he's trying to make some friends too, and I'm like, yo, you want to meet my breakdancing friends? And he's like, yeah, man, I actually do a little bit of breakdance. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. Okay, so I ended up introducing him to him, and later, like maybe like a year, like when you're that young, like 6 months is like a long time. You know, like a lot of shit happens. You can have a whole relationship and be done with it, crying and shit in 6 months. Like on to the next, you know, when you're like 14, 15. But yeah, I ended up
for a whole school year.
Yeah, that's a long time for a semester. Shit, that's a long time. If you made it past the winter break,
y'all married.
Yeah, you're married. You're married. Yeah,
married.
That's it. It's over. Yeah,
kids and all. Let's do it.
Yeah. That's where you get the what do they call those high school pregnancies? You know?
Damn it's mine, man.
It'd be like what? Anyways,
so he drew it. He
yeah. So yeah,
for you.
yeah, and he had this style of like pop lock, and I don't know what you know what pop locking is, but it's like, you know, it was a style, you know, and it's some flavor, you know, to it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Come on, man. Heartbeat.
Yeah, so he would do this, you know, and I'll be like, wow, you know, because we didn't have somebody in the crew that did that, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. So we would all do these like crazy acrobatic shit, you know. So he would come over here and start, you know, doing this pop right, yeah, all this, and I was like, yo, you know, maybe you could get down with the crew, like, you know, we could just kind of, you could be the graffiti artist, and you can kind of show us that part of it, and we could start a graffiti art side of the crew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much what we did, and we ended up rolling with a crew at the time. And yeah, it was cool, man. I started to learn how to do graffiti. He's like, okay, look, you need to get a black book. You know, go to the art store. It's got to be a black book. It can't be like a sketch. You know, those little yellow sketch pads. It can't be that. It's got to be black. It's got to be hard, covered. Yeah, and you get these pens, these certain type of pens or whatever, and you just start drawing your concepts in there. And once you start getting good enough to where you feel like you can go up to the wall and start like freestyling, pretty much like, you know, spray painting, yeah, and then you can start tagging. And yeah, he pretty much taught me, you know, pretty much, yeah. And that's basically how I got into art, and that's how I became a designer, basically. So that started off, it was like 13, 14, 15, 16, like those are my learning years, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, like past that point, I got in a lot of trouble, you know, doing stupid shit. Yeah, just doing dumb shit, yeah.
What's been a dream of yours as being a graffiti artist? Have you ever thought about something like be someone just having your art somewhere where it's like
no, I was
like
never
that?
Really, so like back in the day, we used to call it catch and wreck. So like catch and wreck was like something, wreck used to mean like if you caught wreck, like wreck, it meant recognition. It was short for recognition.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay,
so you
I
caught
understand.
wreck. So recognition is just like, boom, you have your name like on that corner, on this corner, on that corner, on this corner, on that corner. And then you start rolling with the crew, and then you will put your name up with your crew. And that's why they thought it was gang related, but it was not. This is not gang related. This is we were just kids just doing stupid shit just for
Right,
fun.
it's a kid's
Yeah,
race.
But because you put the crew
Tag,
name,
Yeah.
that is when they're affiliated with like
Whoa.
gang. What's it called? Gang
Yeah.
affiliation or something like that.
That is
So
it.
then they would like constantly harass us, pull us over, steal our spray paint, steal our books and
make y'all step up on the wall.
yeah.
Take
Dude, they
pictures.
got. I'm in the system. I'm
gang
in the sense,
five.
yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure,
Miss Megan is
1,000%.
too.
Yeah, oh, Miss Megan.
Yeah, she's on Gang 5.
Okay, I was on TV. My mom was like, "Oh my god!" Like, I was
you
like, "Oh
fucked up,
shit!" Like,
Jacob.
I'm on
That's
TV. Like, this is my mug shot. Like, I'm a hardened criminal. I'm just tagging the wall. Like,
Damn it, man.
Yeah, not doing nothing. Like in my mind, I don't think it's wrong.
Nah, it ain't.
Yeah.
Man. It ain't.
It's something you can paint over. We weren't like painting like on people's like personal property.
You got some
Yeah.
cities, that's how they reconstruct their city.
Yeah,
through
yeah.
the-
Well,
it's
now,
free art.
yeah.
like,
Well, now,
shit.
fast forward.
Fucking
This was
beautiful
this. We
art.
were like, we were like a menace to society, and now the city has most major cities have embraced graffiti.
man.
So, man, that's some of the greatest times of my life. Like where I feel like that is definitely a part of my life where it molded the person I am today so significantly because of how much of an impact graffiti in the hip hop culture had on me at such a young age, being like 13, 14, 15, and growing up and being like, wow, there's this whole world that is hip hop culture. And I was like, my eyes, you're so young and your eyes are so big and the world's so big when you're young, Like now when we're older, it's like, man, it's like 2 hours can pass like in 15 minutes, 15 seconds. You're like, man, I can't believe it was just January, But when you're young, everything is just so big and everything takes so long and you're absorbing all this information. And I feel like, I was around the right people at the right time when it came to, this was during the second wave of breakdancing and hip hop culture because they thought hip hop was going to be a fad. When it
yes.
first started, they thought it was going to be like disco, or they thought it was going to be like, something like that wasn't going to be around for a long time. And it faded for a moment. Like, you had the Sugar Hill Gang and all that, and then you had African Bambaataa and all that situation, and it kind of faded through the 70s going into the 80s, and then it came back in the early to mid 90s, and I mean,
Right.
it never went away. It never went away. With the gangster rap and Tupac and all that other stuff, that was like more on the front commercial end of it, but behind the scenes, the real raw hip hop culture was, the breaking, MCing, graffiti,
It was dying.
DJing,
Yeah.
and a whole second generation that was me kind of came up on that, and I was in love. I was like, oh my god, this is great. And there's dancing, and there's a way that you can write, and there's a way that you can talk and spit, and I was like, wow, this is, to me, it blew my mind. I was
know
like,
it
wow,
did.
this is the craziest thing. And then it didn't matter like what color you were or where you were from. You could be whoever you
part of
wanted to
this.
be. You could be a
Yes.
part of the hip hop culture, and they had this community at the time that would come out, and yeah, man, I was just, they would have these meetings. It's called Zulu Nation, and Zulu Nation was like the hip hop culture, and you could really be from anywhere, and you could sign up, and I signed up for the Zulu Nation like
Are
at
you
one of the events
serious?
in Houston,
Yeah.
Texas, yeah. And you're like officially, into hip hop culture or whatever, and they were promoting like, a family friendly type situation, no fighting, no violence and stuff like that. They were promoting like a really healthy aspect of, and you can even see some of the articles probably out, like them getting into it with World Star, for using hip hop, as a way to promote fights and stuff like that. But really, it kind of took a turn for its own and morphed out. That's more later down the line in the future, like more modern times, or social media times. But back then it wasn't like that,
And they were really trying to preserve the essence of
Right,
hip hop
right.
because back then when the first wave,
Yeah.
I'm 51, so
Yeah.
hip hop's 50.
Right.
I'm the same age as
Right,
hip hop.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
51
right.
now. So back then you would meet up and it almost looked like a big gang
Yeah,
fight
yeah,
about
yeah,
to
yeah,
happen,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then you just break out and you're just like, whoo!
Yeah.
And then they say, they
Hey,
dancing.
they wore the goggles just like
That's
that.
why I
Yeah.
love what you're
That
doing.
situation,
Like,
the whole-
yeah, it's like you bring it
dress
around.
just like that, yeah.
You bringing it back around third generation now. It's like
Yeah.
because even then when the Easy E's and all that hit
Yeah.
the second wave, you're talking about hit it like turned so gangster
Right.
and everybody start selling drugs.
Well, they have to say so much more like outlandish, ridiculous things, at that point in time to really get the attention of people. Just same thing that's happening today, but
yeah.
but as it related to like the earlier hip hop music. It
wasn't
not
none of that.
Yeah, it wasn't like all those, explicit lyrics basically. Now explicit lyrics is normal.
That's the norm. They had to actually come up with the sticker.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, to let people know that it was okay to buy. But
Right.
the thing was, like, no one. It was not cool to sell drugs.
Yeah.
It was not cool to be this. It was more like
because you didn't want to get associated
with that,
the gang affiliation because, like you were saying, it was kind of gave that outward appearance when you have a lot of inner city, kids that kind of didn't have shit to do after school, getting together. Already looks like a gang situation, So they're like, let me try to, suppress it.
Polish
This is really could be good for the community, getting these kids that aren't traditionally in, like, say, basketball or sports or anything like that. Let me put them into hip hop, and they can learn how to dance, or they can learn how to DJ, or they can learn a skill or a talent that's going to carry them on into the future.
Or graffiti.
Yeah, or graffiti, and that turns into like visual communications, and that can turn into a career or whatever. I was just saying a story earlier is that back in the day we used to have these things called black books, and a black book was a hardcover black book that you would do your drawings in, and so we would have these writers. They would call them like writer's bench. So basically, a writer is a graffiti writer. That means that you write graffiti. That is the language of the hip hop culture. How it is written, like somebody who writes Chinese letters is speaking in Mandarin. So you had graffiti letters is the way that you communicated, in hip hop culture. And so they called yourself a writer, and you would have this black book where you sketch out all your ideas, and then you would take it like once a month or once a week, however you wanted to meet up to what's called a writer's bench. And you can meet other legends that you didn't know who these people were, because all graffiti artists are anonymous, because they're doing illegal activity, basically. So you don't want to be known like that.
Yeah.
But amongst other graffiti artists, it's like, whoa, you're Mike D. Wow, I seen you tag up over, man, I seen you all over the place. And this is where you would get to meet like other graffiti artists in that time period, and then you could collaborate with them. You could do, like, if you wanted to you can sketch in my book, I could sketch in yours, and say we ended up wanting to do that as a production, meaning we're going to go out and paint this together, either illegally or legally.
Wow.
That would be a situation, but we would meet up at what's called a writer's bench. So this is before social media, before cell phones. So it's like, how'd you do it, man? You had to wait by your phone. Hey, yo, I'm gonna be over here.
Such and such,
yeah.
And then write the directions
hopefully
down.
you're gonna end up somewhere in close proximity at something or somewhere. Just take a right down the street, and when you see the stop and go or whatever it was called back in the day, take a right. And just hope that's the right one that you're gonna go meet these people.
Oh man, and people don't understand. Before GPS, the world communicated fine.
Yeah.
And because like my kids were like, "How did y'all get anywhere?" What do you mean there's no GPS? What do you mean there's a world with no GPS? How did you get there? How did you get to your friend's house? You've never been there. Simple. Make a right, get off 59.
You pass up that tree right there. Okay? You got to go past that tree. Which one? That tree.
The red tree.
Yeah, that red tree with a sign on it.
And you couldn't miss anything.
Yeah. And if you were lost, then you just went into the gas station and had to go ask for directions.
There
pretty
you
much
go.
Just,
That's simple.
hey, yo, and those people had to be pretty knowledgeable, because everybody went to the gas station if they didn't know how to get from point A to point B. And if it was in close proximity of that gas station, you gotta be like, yo, I'm looking for this. And they'd be like, oh yeah, you just need to go up that street. And then, you see that little trailer out there, you're gonna take a left or a right, and you're gonna see it right there on the right hand side. And just pray that is the correct direction. Move on.
Man, that guy gave me some bunk directions.
We did that.
That was against the law.
Yeah.
It was totally, you would.
That's the prank you would pull on people.
Yeah, and it was really bad when you did it. It was disrespectful because strangers would stop and say, and then, like they call it Southern hospitality, but strangers would literally, it was okay to stop somebody and say, what you looking for? Directions.
Yeah.
Okay, where you trying to go?
Yeah.
And that's dope. Maybe we should do something around directions. We should do like a map quest or something, like pre-GPS, like type of clothing or something, like for real.
Like some sort of a scavenger hunt type situation.
That's it. That's it right there.
But yeah, man, we used to do that, and we used to meet up at the park. We would always meet up at the park at a certain time after school to go break dance. Like, that was just our thing. That was just what we did. Every day.
Good days. And you came outside and you didn't play it with your PlayStation all day.
I was outside the whole day. Outside. All the way out until like 9 p.m.
I'm talking about until the street lights come on. That's we were allowed to the street light come on. When that street light come on, I think that was the neighborhood communication to get your ass in the house. Then you would get your ass whooped if you weren't, because those were the kids throwing rocks at people, doing egg.
That was us doing the graffiti.
I knew it was you guys, and then you got the backpack with the cans in it. Man.
Getting chased by the police, that says. Yeah.
And we looking at it like it's just plain art.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I'm just thinking about it now, how it went from, how did that get on that train?
Yeah.
How did this get on this billboard? It's
a lot of effort and work and coordination that you don't think people take time out to kind of plan these things. But it's definitely planned. Some of it is a little, like, once you get better at it, it's like anything. It's like kind of like dancing or whatever. But once you get better at it.
So you know how they did to be someone's sign? If just
we
being
would
a
go
graffiti
and
artist?
do, those are called heavens. Okay, so like a heaven is like terminology that means to get up on top of something really tall, So you either climbing a billboard, climbing a bridge, on top of a building, and there's like a huge space and you see like somebody's graffiti name, that's called heaven. So that's a plan. It's like, you're gonna have to like look out people. It depends on how detailed or whatever you're getting into this stuff, and that's where they kind of tie it back into like gang affiliation. Is that's where they kind of like related it to. They didn't understand that this was not like gang related, because they saw all graffiti as being gang related. Not if it said the Crips or the Bloods or whatever the case may be. They didn't care what it was. They cared that it was written with spray paint and that you and your friends did this illegal activity together. So when you're doing a heaven, you're going to come with me, and you're going to come with me, and you're going to come with me. Why? Because I'm going to be at risk of, first of all, climbing up there and coming down. But secondly, like, who's going to see me and who's going to, be my lookout if case I'm going to have to, get down or whatever during that time period, because this is all done at some time,
Man.
Sometimes they do this shit during the day. Sometimes they do it at night. Sometimes early morning, so you really kind of plan this stuff out with your friends. And there's some solo artists out there. Don't get me wrong, but these people are they're built different. They're built different. There's some solo artists, but there are really, me personally, I still think they have like a small team of people that kind of
help them, coordinate how to do this and how to do that. Because all we do as, people look at it like, how in the hell did that happen? Yeah. Not knowing that it.
And that's the reaction that you're looking for. That.
Wow.
Yeah, you're actually looking for that reaction.
That's dope.
Because then you're walking around and you hear all the community talking about it, and nobody knows who you are, right? And you're just like, it's kind of like being Spider-Man or Batman, you know what I'm saying? It's like, this is the reasons why you're doing shit, just to hear something that says something.
Yeah, to say that was the pay. It's no like.
Tell me more about this thing
this guy that
happened. They did what?
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah, and it's no money for this at all.
No money.
This is just the
it's
clout.
Solo, just not even because you're not even personally getting it. Same situation to who I am today, right?
Yes.
I'm not even personally getting recognition for this. Only me and a small group of people know that this is what's really going down. So it's not even almost for the clout. It's almost just for the name, just for the name recognition.
Wow.
And just to be like, okay, I got that to that point. That's Hyde Park though today, right?
That's what it is.
That's Hyde Park though today.
Everybody wants to know, because it was just like at one point, like the whole hood had Hyde Park, and you're like, what in the world going on? Who is these people? Like, where did they come from? And it's just like, now it's just like, bam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like different ways to get to where you're at now. But I can't, just back to what you were saying, I just can't believe that the police would actually tie that to game.
It was so crazy, yeah. They would, the craziest thing, man, is they would
target
stalk, like almost like I was like, should I call the cops on the cops because they're stalking me? They would just follow me. They would follow the crew. They already knew that we were in a crew. But when it comes to this, like, I guess like law of what's it called, vandalism is what it's called, and it depends if it's on federal property or not. They had passed a law at the time period that if you graffiti on federal property, you could get shot and killed straight up. Just you do graffiti.
Tag,
you do graffiti on a train. That's federal property. They could shoot and kill you. So people that are risking their lives, and now it's a federal crime. You see what I'm saying? So this is not go to Harris County Jail and get bonded out in the morning.
Feds.
Yeah, you're gonna be federally. They're gonna try to federally prosecute you. That's what their whole. But also, it's really difficult at the same time to prove that it was you, even if they have video. even if they have video,
'Cause you got
a
a
hoodie
hoodie on
and a
and
whatever, and even if they catch you and your friends videoing or whatever the case may be, well, how do you
You
know
have
that
to
that
prove
was me?
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know that that was me, so you physically have to get caught almost in the act of spray painting.
Have you
Yeah.
ever known anyone that got time for tagging?
Yeah,
personally.
Yeah, my friends have gotten time. Yeah.
That is crazy. I've been in jail a lot of times, and
The last thing you want to tell somebody is, "I'm in here for graffiti."
I'm in here for being a graffiti artist, but I'm sitting here
You
looking
probably
at,
maybe they are in there, but they will never let you know.
That gotta be embarrassing. Not just embarrassing, but it's like,
It's not the most gangster thing that you could do, you know.
and not that. It's just like now you look at
Yeah.
cities
Now
hire
it's
you
so socially-
people to
Yeah.
reconstruct the buildings with graffiti art now. So it's
It's
almost
socially
like how
acceptable.
weed was. I mean, I can't say weed, but left hand cigarettes were.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got people that was going like being prosecuted. Now it's like, oh, we'll write your ticket. Go ahead on
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and see you later.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So it's crazy to see the whole 180 on that one because, I was like, man, I guess I was born at the wrong time.
Yeah.
I was born at
Yeah.
the wrong time, like
Yeah.
on that one. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? On that specific thing, because later in life, it became socially acceptable. Not only socially acceptable, but you're right. You had city council and city
Making
funds
laws.
actually.
Going toward
Yeah,
prosecuting
no,
people.
they're actually funding now.
Yeah,
graffiti.
now they doing
now
it,
They're
yeah.
now
For
they have
sure.
an allocation of funds that can be used. So you're just kind of guiding the people's talent and being like, hey, look, you know what, we support you, but let's do
Should've
this the
been
right
doing
way.
that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I feel like that should have been the aim from the jump
from the
because
jump,
it's beautiful art.
Yeah, and I think the problem was back then is that it wasn't. They were also not educated in it. I'm talking about the city. Or the
Right,
the
right,
elected
the
the
grown
politicians.
folks,
They were
yeah.
not also didn't understand what the difference was. So they also had to have some sort of a learning period in there where they were like, okay, there's clearly a difference.
What is this? Yeah.
This is not just somebody doing their gang.
Tag,
Graffiti.
this is art.
This is could be art or is art in self-expression. And these people are looking. This is what their motivation is. They want to get recognition. They want to get rec. They want to get noticed. But how can we give them a safe, cool environment where they can do that? And we can also draw in like crowds of people. And then you have like art districts in the community. Now you have like several different art districts here in Houston, Denver, Chicago. I mean, just
Man.
name a city. I mean, Los Angeles.
there.
You got Art Basel in Miami. I mean, these are huge, big art. Art Basel in Miami was like based on graffiti art.
That's crazy.
So, and now people that used to paint graffiti art, that legends, in that game, they're getting paid how much money,
Big
I
bucks.
didn't stick with it, but,
Yeah.
I was like, I'm done, I don't want to, I got my taste of like running away from the police,
the
several
good
times.
part, the making of it.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was you got me thinking about that movie that was based on all this. Was it Beach Street? Or
Beach
was
Street,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, that
Wild
was,
Style, Beach Street, yeah.
Yeah, was it? It was.
Yeah,
it was
Wild
more
Style.
than that. I know,
Beach
but
Street was breakdancing, and
that
Wild
was
Style I think was more
breakdancing.
graffiti, yeah.
Yeah, where they had and they were. Because on Beach Street they had them going tag the trains,
yeah.
and now that's probably where they get the gang part
Yeah.
of it because they be fighting, but man, those dudes were meeting up dancing.
Yeah, but breakdance battles, graffiti battles, MC battles, just
Yeah.
that's the most purest, like, I guess like PG-13 type,
Of it right there.
activity. Yeah.
Man.
I mean, it got crazy too. Like people were getting into fist fights over it, but like, that was not common. It was not normal.
Yeah.
For the most part. You're not gonna just go try to,
Beat up a person because they spray better
Yeah.
than you.
Yeah. Not like you might, there's egos just like there is in anything, but I mean.
You hit my spot.
Yeah,
I think that's what it was.
That was it.
Yeah,
It's still,
it was.
Yeah,
it
it's
was.
still
It
a
was.
thing. It's still
You
a thing.
tagged over me, or if you go and
yeah.
you now that probably where they got the crime part of
Yeah.
it because that was against the law of the land. When you doing that, you go and you pour paint over somebody's. Hey, Remo did that.
Yeah. That's still today. I really feel like just hip hop in general is just so political. You gotta just, you have your alliances, you have like boundaries that you shouldn't be crossing, you have like bilateral talks and agreements between people to try to negotiate a certain
Right.
situation or whatever. And all of this is not to step on anybody's toes, with all due respect. Asterisks, whatever. That still goes on. Yeah. Even to this day, it's probably crazier today.
It is,
Yeah.
and y'all have really got a lesson This is what the one-on-one is about, giving lessons about different things that went on in hip hop and part of Houston is part of the world and the legacy.
Yeah.
And this is part of your legacy as well that
Yeah.
made who you are what you are.
After I got into all that trouble, I was like, okay, I'm done doing that shit like illegally, you know, because I had already,
this shit right.
you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I was at a young age, I had already, you know, been through the whole system a few times, and I was like, okay, I'm done. I think I was like 19 or something like that when I was like, I'm not doing any more illegal shit. And I ended up going. I ended up going to. You know, I ended up learning about design work basically, like, but from a computer. So this was like early, you know, days where you would design from your computer. Like now it's really common. Like somebody would have, instead of a black book, you got an iPad, you know, and you're drawing, you know, on an iPad, and kind of like
what
fast
it's gonna
forward.
look like,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
what it's going to look like, you know, and you take those designs and you can go back and forth between these different programs. I can't imagine with AI coming out right now, like what kind of crazy shit people are coming up
They
with.
tell it to do
I mean,
whatever, yeah.
you could feed the AI now, but like, okay, so like back then though, you used to draw it on the paper, right? And went from drawing it on paper to doing it in a computer. You went from doing it in a computer to doing it on an iPad, and then like kind of like fine tuning it through like 3 or 4 different programs, and like to achieve these different types of looks. So I think naturally, you know, before iPads were invented, I was already going, okay, I'm gonna start like legitimizing like what I'm doing and try to see like how I can fit in. And a lot of that is like visual communication. You think about like, you know, art and stuff like that and how it applies to business, and you're thinking, okay, like visual communications is the first, you know, one of the first things you could do to help somebody make some money with your talent, you know. So visual communications just is like, can I communicate what you're saying visually to help you make some money and draw some attraction to your business or something like that. And what are you gonna do to do that? You're gonna come up with like a logo or like graphics or like an ad campaign or like a mascot or something like that. Maybe you know, like you got your little SUC whatever with the, you know, double cup thing, and you know, all that is all imagery of how somebody perceives your brand, you know, from an outside person looking in without knowing who you are. Right, that's the first step that they're gonna look at is, let me try to put one and one together and see if those two things make sense to me, you know?
Dope.
So,
That's dope.
you know,
See, that's that genius artist mind he's telling y'all about. He's trying to explain it to the deaf, dumb, and blind. We get what you're saying, but when we see like Hyde Park and we see Be Someone and we see different people, man, it to us it's just like, wow. Wow.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? And now they're saying how they went to paper and to now watching you turn that into clothing.
yeah.
It's something we can wear. It's like,
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah, so that's pretty much was the inspiration behind it was like I wanted to be able to express myself, like doing this stuff, doing a job for somebody else, like, you know, even if you're painting or you're fixing somebody's car or you're making a jingle for somebody if you're a music artist, right? Versus doing that and trying to express yourself through that same talent, you know, are two completely different things. And there was always like in my mind, there was a time that I was gonna stop doing this stuff for other people and helping other people with my talent, and that I was gonna just try to express myself through, you know, through whatever, through a brand or whatever. And if that was through clothing, then that was through clothing, so that they could wear and express themselves. You know, like how can we come up with something that can be influential, can be impactful? Like those are my key things. Like I wanted it to be like to have an impact, you know. That was like number one. Like I'm gonna do this. I want to have an impact, and I want it to be influential in a way, like on this side, like where we have the hip hop culture and streetwear, like kind of combining together, where these two synonymous things kind of happening. Like at one time, like what Johnny Dang is for jewelry in the hip hop culture. I thought that there needed a brand because there was a couple brands that like Bape had already sold out. Like Bape sold to I don't know who, and there was a couple brands that already sold, you know, to other major companies. So there wasn't really like another at that point. Like it was like 2019, 2020. Like Supreme had already sold to BF Corp, I think.
Yeah,
and since then, Supreme has sold a couple times, or I think like 1 or 2 times. But people don't know they're still wearing Supreme, thinking it's like still something that's like original from the original creator. So I'm like, you know,
Somebody else.
yeah, somebody else.
What else is coming from Hyde Park, and what can we expect? Like, you know, what's the future looking like for us?
In the future, you know, I always thought, you know, when I started Hyde Park, like I felt like the brand are just putting products out there, like not for the sake of making money, because like for me, it wasn't about, you know, how much money I could make. At the end of the day, there's probably been a lot of other easy ways to make money other than to create a brand and products and try to get people, you know, around it. I don't think that that's something people try every day to create a clothing brand. You know, it's not something so easy of just, oh, I'm gonna do this just to make some money. You really have to have a movement or a, you know, a bigger vision in mind in order for people to understand, like, I'm here because I'm here to express myself creatively, and my outlet is fashion, you know? And the fashion label is Hydepark. So if you like the way that I express myself creatively, you can purchase my clothes.
Right.
And
correct.
if you don't, I'm still gonna make clothes because
This is what I do.
I was still doing graffiti
when it was
you know, when I
Yeah.
was making nothing. It was
Yeah.
just putting my name up. And how did that look on that corner, on that wall, on that, you know, on that street with that background, and that, you know, these people pass by it.
Right.
That's the interesting
right.
part to it.
It
you know?
is.
So
It is.
when you think about fashion, and I think about how that relates to the hip hop culture, it's not about how much money, you know, this brand or this thing can bring in. It's, can the people accept and rally around it and really feel something when they look at the piece? You know, do they feel a certain type of way? Because how many brands do you know?
They
you
come
know?
and they
How many
come and they
brands?
go.
I mean, everybody wants to start a brand.
How does that
you know?
feel when you see? Is it I know we all want to make money, but does it feel better to make money, or when you see someone that you never would have thought with your piece on? Like,
I mean, you know, I take it as I always take, you know, somebody, I guess, you know, wearing a piece
yeah,
that
I
I
would
may
think.
not expect to wear it as a compliment, of course, like I think anybody would, but that's not the ultimate goal. Was not to get, you know,
Right.
people to, you know, to be wearing it, because I feel like you can chase that also and
Right.
that be an empty hole, you know?
Right. Oh, that
because
will be, yeah.
you know, you're gonna just throw away money, you know, at trying to get somebody to do something, but to naturally want to do it is probably the better thing. You know, if you naturally are looking in your closet and you pick this piece, or if you're naturally walking around in the real world and you see something that you're attracted to, do you like that? Is it
Yeah.
cool? I mean, cool, because that's the same thing with graffiti. Like what you said with Be Someone, like people recognize that and it resonates with you.
They
Like
do.
you feel something with it, because
Yeah.
when you're driving into town or driving out of town or whatever
You
the
know
case
where
may
you
be,
at.
you say Be Someone, and that's a piece of art, you know, same situation. But a lot of people resonate with that because of how it makes you feel, you know. And I think that's the most important part when it comes to building a brand or having a fashion or creatively expressing yourself, is can you spark somebody's emotions and make somebody think for a second? And that gets me back to what we were talking about earlier with getting inspiration and inspired from, say, TSF or from legends like yourself, or, you know, the hip hop culture. In general, is just like, you know, what is in need. And I do think that's an important thing to speak on, is in that moment, it was drip, you know, it is drip. It's like, what is drip though, you know?
Right.
And how is that defined? And can you try too hard to be making drip? You know what I'm saying? Or does it seem like something that is fleeting? And so when you think about and want to dissect it and kind of go into a little bit more, you will say, well, to me, drip is like something like any art. It provokes thought, like first and foremost. And secondly, you want to think about it or look at it just a little bit more than what you would look at something normal, you know?
Come
And I
on
think
now.
like in general, people that are dressing and want to say represent or be a part of something, like something fashionable or something like that, you don't want to put something on because they want to be looked at like for a second or two longer than what you would normally look at somebody just passing in the grocery store, right?
There you go.
You know, like if
Right.
you're just gonna pass somebody in the grocery store, you may never even think about that person ever again in your whole entire life.
Amen.
But me, like drip is like something that you're like, okay,
I put that together.
okay, I see what you did
Yeah.
there. You know, oh, okay, you know, and you may think about that person later on in the week or what, you know what I'm saying? You may have that filed away in the archives, and
And
that
you
may
thinking,
inspire you
to do more.
to dress or something, whatever, you know, you saw Walker Sanchi or whatever drip it like this and how he put it on like that, and you may be thinking, okay, all right, I see how I did. I'm gonna, because fashion is not always about just the label. Fashion is about how you're gonna put this thing together, you know, and that those pants may be put with a vintage tee, maybe put with a, you know, maybe put with a designer watch or a designer bag or whatever, and that whole thing together is the drip, you know. So
That's what I like
Yeah.
about what you do too, because a lot of people, you know, coming from the area I come from, it wasn't you know, you're gonna have Gucci pants
Yeah.
on with Louis shirt
Yeah.
with,
Yeah.
you know, maybe
Right. Yeah.
you know, whatever type of. But with Hyde Park, you're able to go from head to toe.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I love about what you're
Yeah.
doing. When you see someone they dressed in Hyde Park, you know that they went from the hat, the goggles,
Yeah.
down to the slippers, to the socks. I know they got to feel good that when you see people, they don't just have a shirt on; they got everything on. You know
And
what
that's,
I mean?
you know, and that's where I feel like, you know, people expressing themselves, you know, creatively is the, you know, is the name of it. Can you express yourself? Can I assist you in expressing yourself, you know, through fashion? You know, that's the ultimate goal. That's really the future of Hyde Park that I feel like, and it could not even be Hyde Park. It could be some other product that I invent. You know, because really, like, you know, that's my.
It's about keep going because you
Yeah.
have. I see what you did. You got the equipment to be able to do it. And are you looking for more ventures like that in the future, like going different ways with it? Like maybe say, if we got together and say, hey, we're gonna create H-Town flavored drip or something like that.
So basically, like right now, I've come up with so many different, like, I guess I come up with like subcategories, like, and I'm thinking about it in my head, like as a shopping mall, and inside of a shopping mall, you have like different stores. You'll have like, you know, if you go to the Galleria, you'll have your like high end, you know, situation. Then you'll have it all the way down to like an H&M, you know, or you know what, like a Zara or something like that, you know, and then everything in between those things. And then you've got different subcategories of like stuff for children, stuff for women, stuff for men, some exclusively. So,
Swimwear,
yeah,
everything,
swimwear,
yeah,
all that
yeah.
stuff, right? And then you've even got things to eat and do, and you know, there's other things that you could do at the mall. So like, how can you keep somebody in your own world? What is your world? You see what I'm saying? What is Hyde Park world, or Hyde Park land, or Hyde Park? What is the park? What is that? What is that space? And what's in that space? You know, so if you're a creator, sorry, my phone's ringing. So if you're
Mine
so
doing the
so
same
if
thing.
you're
Don't feel bad. They do that, but this is now. I like where you're going with this.
So if you're a creator, you know, a creative creator, you know what I'm saying? Like I'll be like a creative, you know, and just be like, why stop at one, you know, thing that's called Hyde Park? Why isn't there, where's the slide? You know what I'm saying? Where are the burgers? Where's the, you know,
Yeah.
where's the photo area? You know, where's the food court? You know, where's the ice skating rink in the middle of the, you know, and what does
Right,
that look
right.
like virtually, you know, and how does that live like in these different, like I say, like different like different, you know, different areas of the space that you're, virtual space that you're trying to create, I guess you could say.
That's what
It's
I
like
see.
multi-layered, you know. Like,
Man.
you know, and that's what I'm kind of thinking, like, okay, maybe Hyde Park can be this one thing of a much bigger, you know, picture of what I think I can express creatively.
Or the
Yeah.
big thing that has much
much smaller stuff.
parts in
Yeah,
it. Because
yeah.
you're looking at the virtual
Yeah.
world as saying Hyde Park. Like, this
Right.
is welcome to the park.
Welcome to the park.
And in that park, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You live in all type of virtual
Yeah,
reality.
maybe there's
that
like
goes
some
in it,
sort of
right.
sophisticated area where, you know, people like are part of like a country club or something like that, you know? And in this country club, you know, country clubs, they have these things called social clubs, like where you will smoke a cigar, you know, with your friends. You will smoke $100, $200 cigar, $300 cigar, something like that, you know? And what does that person wear? You know, what's surrounding that person? What space are they living in? That's one part, like the social club or something like that. That could be a subcategory underneath that.
Everything
you know?
else.
Yeah.
I see where you're
Yeah,
going with
yeah.
it. That's a virtual world because that's where the game's headed too.
Yeah.
You know, people are there, and I can see now people going in there. I got to go dress my
Yeah.
virtual person in Hyde Park.
Yeah.
I got to dress them in. I got to have a H-Town Labubu. I got to.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. I see where you're going with it, and being able to see that future from your humble beginnings all the way to the end is really what being a complete designer is, man. And I'm just glad to say that we are part of what you creating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I appreciate you letting us in your world and then representing Houston, Texas like you do, man, around the world, because people don't know that the park is worldwide.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
that's the key thing, is just like really tying deeply into that, you know, to the community. You know, it was always about, you know, tying into the hip hop culture, but like, you know, in what way? You know, what does that look like in, say, 5 years from now, or in, say, 10 years from now? And a lot of people trying to make money, say, selling their products on a shelf, you know, at a pop-up or something like that, like on the weekend. Like, I never really cared about that because to me, it wasn't about making like little fast money. To me, it was about like painting a picture for tomorrow and the long game. Like, how can I consistently, you know, push this thing forward and just pushing the boundaries of creativity is a whole, you know, that could keep your mind occupied for how long, you know?
Forever.
Because you can keep opening up a box and keep opening up a box, and inside that box, you know, there's all this, and then there's another box, but then you got to open up that one. So, like, how do you keep it interesting? You know, if your goal is just to make money for the day, you know, you just people can see right through that. So, you know, for me, it was more about that self-expression. For me, it's more, even today, it's still about what is tomorrow, how we're painting that picture tomorrow, and how does that thing evolve? How do we grow tighter, closer in relation to the hip hop culture? Because hip hop culture is evolving. At the same time, like, all of these things are like, people are pushing these boundaries. Social media is changing. You got artificial intelligence coming out, and these are kind of tweaking the algorithm, and it's kind of a difficult, you know, people, you know, it's a little bit difficult of a situation right now with the algorithm and catching on and catching attention and stuff like that, and how the media is put out there now versus what it was 5 years ago, you know. But I mean, at the end of the day, you know, people are still coming out, you know, they're still expressing themselves creatively through fashion, and I feel like, you know, Hydepark will play a role, you know.
I see it because like Nike, they have like the bike community, the skate community. It's not just hip hop.
Right. Yeah.
And that's why I see Hydepark going. I see everybody now. I can see like you. So one question before we get out of here. You've been around the world with this thing. How far is the United States behind, or are we in front of the fashion game now?
Okay. This is going to be probably a controversial statement, and that's good, though. We're here for the controversy.
There's no right or wrong answer, right?
But I really feel like, after being around a lot, I do feel like in some senses that the United States is behind in fashion. I do think that though some people would like to call themselves a tastemaker, a lot of people are followers, which is cool too. Like, you know, there's no wrong or right answer to whether or not you want to be a tastemaker or a follower. But when some of the quote unquote biggest fashion quote unquote cities in the world are looking to the left and to the right as what's cool, are you a tastemaker? You know what I'm saying? Are you a tastemaker? Because really, if you see something, you're just trying to put it on. But it goes back to my other part, is like, if you're just trying to do what you think is other people think is cool, then that's just a sub variation. You really never step kind of out that boundary to be like, okay, I'm gonna step out on my own. I'm not looking to the left or to the right, you know, to see if this is socially acceptable to other people. And to Walk's credit, that man will have one shoe on and one shoe off. You've seen him do it, and he just walks around like he's dripping with one shoe on and one sock.
Shoe off.
Yeah,
and
you know,
he's not scared to push the envelope, you know? And I don't think any of us should be, because I think once you start seeing the world, then you understand that damn, we are behind.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say America
follow.
in general. There's a lot of other people that will creatively push it a lot more. And they're not afraid to try on the different thing, even though they don't see other people wearing it yet. I do think that Houston is a little, not Houston in general, I'm saying America in general, takes a little bit of time for things to marinate and sit with them. Now, expressively and creatively and all that, that's one of our exports, you know, when we're really kind of in our mode and stuff like that. Yeah, we can start exporting that, you know, to other countries. People listen to our music. All over the world.
That's what I want to know, because around the world they listen to hip hop and then they follow hip hop, and then hip hop
100%
follows them in fashion. Like, so how do they feel about the fashion from America?
That's the funniest thing, because I don't know. Like, fashion from America is just so hard because of that. Like what I'm saying.
What do they say? Like,
I think that there's like some standards to it. I think that a lot of the preconceived ideas, like, I guess, like, how can I put this? Like, I don't know if they're called stereotypes, but I feel like a lot of it comes from like, okay, this is Italian or this is French. You know what I'm saying? So like, you don't even look to the second, you know, to America, because America is such a washing machine or gumbo pot of different types of, you know, cultures and whatever, that they don't really look towards fashion in America as that, you know. I think it could be. I think it could be.
I know it could be,
You
but
know,
I think it's
it
what
can.
you say.
But it's just so ingrained in people's mind that
It has to be
fashion is
Italian.
Italian or
Yes,
fashion is
it's-
French or fashion. You know what I'm saying? And not even to say that that's just on the Western side of the world. You know,
Right.
when you go into Japanese culture and to Asian culture, that's a completely different argument. in
Exactly.
people's outlook and perspective on things. You know,
That's
we're
what
just
I
talking about the
thought.
Western world.
That's what I
French
thought.
and Italian, you know? It's
Yeah,
like,
and-
is it
yeah.
though? You know, I think we got some drip here in Houston, you know?
Yeah, we do, and I think it's getting better with people
Yeah.
like you that's not as scared to color outside the lines. I think we'll be all right.
We need
though.
to, you know, we're gonna brainstorm here. You know,
Yeah.
we are in the, you know, in the factory here.
Yeah, let's do it, man. But man, Jacob, I want to thank you for coming out, man. You know, this will be first of many conversations that we have because I think we still need to, you know, like show people what it takes to make a real brand come to life. You know what I mean? Once you take it, like me, I've been wanting to get in this, but now you've gave me a whole new outlook of what it looks like to run a company.
Yeah, once you start looking at your options, and you get like that option turned into 10, those 10 options turned into 20, and then you know you're like, well, where do I even start now? 'Cause
That's what
I
it seemed
thought I
like
knew
you've
something.
done. You went to
Yeah.
whoop, 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 whoop,
Yeah,
whoop.
yeah, and before you know it, you're in there just cooking and making stuff.
That's
you know?
what it is,
Yeah.
man. Well, I appreciate seeing you, man. Is there anybody you need to holler at or anything else that you need to say before we get out of here for this episode today with one-on-one with Hydepark?
Shout out to the city of Houston and you know, Miss Megan for putting and coordinating everything. Charleston over here with Exotic Pop, Walk and TSF, and yeah, man, we're back in the city. We're back in Houston, and yeah, I'm just happy to be home. Really?
I
Yeah.
bet a lot of y'all didn't even know, especially you bad mama jammers from my neighborhood that broke in this man's place. Was Hyde Park all over Third Ward. That was the best promotion you could get, huh?
I don't even know. Somebody was
know.
telling me, they were like, "What is going on, bro?"
It's a
Like,
Hyde Park.
everybody's wearing Hyde Park.
Oh man, it was everywhere. But I'm gonna tell you what it did. I know it's a bad thing before we get out of here, but it really brought a whole lot of attention to Hyde Park. Everybody wanted it. I'm telling you. And that's what it is. Shout
I think
out
I was
to you,
overseas
little
at that
dude.
time.
Oh, you overseas?
Oh,
with that?
I was in
Oh,
Vietnam.
man.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't doing nothing to him. He's still a giant. We're gonna get business. And then guess what? We're gonna come to Third Ward. We're gonna do a giveaway this time. How about
Yeah,
that, man? Let's go. You know?
Yeah, man, I really appreciate everybody checking in and watching. And Mike D, the legend, is at Hyde Park right here, and where it all started. Shout out to Sanchi P and TSF
right.
Walk and everybody. Yeah, man, the story's gonna continue, and you know
Let's
we're
go.
still gonna be maybe we become what, Italy and the French, you
There
know,
it
H
is.
Town is the new,
And
you know.
And y'all stay tuned. We will have some June 27 gear for you. We will have some Mike D gear for you coming soon, man. Gonna do a bunch of cross promoting and let's do what we do, man.
And the man's dripping.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm talking about super dripping right here, man. Hey, man, appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate
you know
you.
what it is, man. Oh yeah, that was dope, man.